Hey, welcome back to another exciting episode of Yomo. This is the Year of Magical Learning podcast, and today we are back with another Malcolm Gladwell, hero's journey, whatever that
Yeah.
is.
Anyway, so I'm sure it is. It's another Malcolm. So I was telling you guys this. We ended this last one yesterday for talking to strangers, and as I explained in yesterday's love fest of all things Malcolm Gladwell, like I finished that book in 2 days, and I was like, oh man, I was like, I really want more. And then obviously when they have like well, you listen because you listen to this, maybe you should listen to this. And
Mhm.
I was like, I've never actually done Blink. I was like, I know of Blink. I've done at that point in time, I think that was my third Malcolm Gladwell book or whatever. And it's
Mhm.
like, I know all the other ones like Tipping Point and Blink and Why I Hate the Ivy League, whatever. It's stuff that I'd heard of these other ones, and I was always
Mhm.
like, well, I'm sure I know what I'm going to get into. I was like, I had such a fun experience for the past 2 days. I was like, let's just keep it going. And I was like, I know for a fact if I hit purchase on this, I'm gonna have fun next 2 days, and I'm gonna enjoy the hell out of it, and it's gonna be a good time. I was like, I don't care what even the content's about. I was like, let's do this. I immediately re-upped on my Malcolm Gladwell journey, and shocker, I finished Blank in 2 days as well. Over the course of 4 days, I finished two Malcolm Gladwell books, and I was like, honestly, at that point in time, I was like, I just want to keep going with Malcolm Gladwell. I mean, it was hard for me to stop it. I was just like, okay,
So,
four
did
days.
you get another Malcolm Gladwell book after
I
this?
did eventually. I think I ended up in the next couple of weeks when we get into our ultra marathon, not trying to spoil anything here for the 365 journey, but once we get into the ultra marathon, I think there's like at least two, maybe three more upcoming in the future, right?
Okay.
Yeah. But this book, Blank, is one of his, I would say this is probably one of his most famous books. I think this, I think this actually might have been his first book.
Really?
Correct,
Okay.
correct me if I'm wrong, but I think
I think it depends on people. I mean, I know him from the Tipping Point, but
I can't remember what is his. Was it Outliers? No, wait. The Tipping Point. Oh, yeah, it was the first point. The first book was the Tipping Point. So, anyway, all right. On to Blink. So this is a book called The Power of Thinking Without Thinking. If it sounds familiar, true, like what we're going to be talking about today.
we're talking about the system, system one,
Yep.
the elephant.
Thinking Fast, Elephant. Yep, exactly.
Elephant,
That,
right?
that's literally what this book is
Because
about.
when you say, to think is system one, to blink is to think is system two, to blink is system one.
Yeah, that's about sums it up. I mean, that's pretty much everything else we've heard. Minus the inner game of tennis,
Uh,
where he flip flopped it. So his system two is your elephant, and your system one is your thinking slow brain. But pretty much we've heard this now over the course of many different books, and this book exclusively was what Malcolm Gladwell wrote about of how we process things so quickly in the blink of an eye we can make determinations, right? He talks about thin slicing. I can't remember exactly what it's called, but thin slicing. All the Gladwell books kind of blend together in my head now, but there was some section of it was either this book or Talking to Strangers, I think, that was about what would you rather do? Would you rather to get to know somebody? Let's say you're going to hire somebody, I think was the scenario. Would you rather spend a full year interviewing them, on and off casually, having multiple conversations with somebody, or would you rather go to visit their house and spend 30 minutes just walking around their house with them? Which
second,
one do you think? Why?
it's faster and it's more accurate. You are what you do.
Like if
Just like you said before, it's not what you say, it's what you do, right? It
right,
determines who you really are as a person. So when you go into somebody's home, right, it's not like you can make changes.
no,
You can't. Who you are, how you live is basically a reflection of what you do. And so in
I agree.
30 minutes, I can tell you much more about you and more accurately.
Exactly. Like, and if you walk into my house and you see, I got a bunch of dollar bills all over my front kitchen table, you can't hide who you are in your home, right? Like, I mean, you could try, but like,
I mean, you can, but it takes a lot of effort.
it takes a lot of effort. Right?
What people would call it a long con, right? If
Yep.
you want to con me, it's like you're gonna have to spend the next 5 years trying to immerse yourself into this character and behave as that person for 5 years to fool me, right?
Yep.
That is a lot of effort. I mean, there gotta be something I have that is so valuable for you to even want to bother doing that to get it from me, to scare me out of it,
Yep.
right? So you don't really. So who you are at home is who you are. How you on you over the past number of years. That
And
is very, very rare for some people to do. But I'm not saying there isn't, someone, there will be someone. It's always an exception. But
yep, I agree.
is a rarity.
I agree. If I was hiring a large company or something like that, and I was trying to, let's say I was the CEO of Salesforce, I'm Mark Benioff, and I was looking to bring people onto the board or whatever, I'd be like, I don't really want to interview you. I don't want to have a conversation. I'm going to come visit your house, and we're going to spend 30 minutes just in your environment. And it's got to be a surprise. It should just be a surprise visit too. I should just pop in and be like, hey, just wanted to stop in. Like if you just popped into my house, you might see dog poop all over my patio. That's because my dog's old and she poops on the patio. Like she can't make it down the stairwell and I don't get a chance to clean it up all day long. So sorry.
Cleaning up dog poop isn't your priority.
It's not.
It isn't your core values.
But I mean, don't get me wrong. Like if somebody were my boss is coming over,
you're playing tennis and you're not cleaning the poop. Well,
exactly.
I know where your priorities lie. Of course.
You're exactly
and I'm denying it.
I mean, you would, like if I knew that somebody was coming over, immediately I would run out to the patio and I'd be chucking poop into the bushes or something like that.
But at the same time, if you walk around the patio, you're gonna probably miss one, one or two, right?
She poops all over my patio.
Even if you have given advance notice, you still could not hide everything about yourself.
Oh yeah, I mean, no,
it's details about you that it's always going to give it away.
Agreed. And you can tell it in the blink of an eye, too. This reflection is about slowing down time for your elephant's greatest tricks. And here's what I mean by this. So this book is all about the elephant, right? This is all about how powerful the elephant is. I think you and I have talked about this 1,000 different times in 1,000 different ways over the course of the past 3.5 years of just how incredible our elephants are, right? Like, I mean, I would venture to say that at least 99% of the actions that I perform on any given day is driven by my elephant. I don't think that's an overestimate, honestly. I may be an underestimate, to be honest with you. I don't know how many times that my thinking slow brain goes, nope, Chris, you should do this. And this is why, today. I don't know that I do that. How often do you think you do that on a given day?
No, I'm not doing anything on a given day. I mean,
Right.
It's like I breathe for a second and then 4 hours later, I'm still alive, right? So
Right.
I even daydream when I'm driving, right? Driving, like your subconscious is actually driving it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, you daydream about some BS future stuff about some report you have to do, and you're driving, and suddenly you make it home. So, oh shit, I'm home, right? So your conscious, like, it's like he goes in there and he does like he put it, like just like somebody's going to the kitchen, and start touching the baker's thing and taste it, and he walks away. It's like that's how much your rider, your conscious is doing in terms of how much of a ratio between the responsibility and what someone does, right? It's so small. I'm talking about, like you say, 99% of the time, the elephant does everything. Because for us, we don't even think. I mean, the only thing that we as a writer, as this conscious can do, is to think, and even that is hard for most people.
It is. That's my reflection on this one, right? Is this book was like an homage to the elephant, right? The power of the elephant. And don't get me wrong, I am 100%. Daniel Kahneman says it in Thinking Fast and Slow at the very beginning of the book. The star of the show is not your thinking slow brain. It's not your rational brain. It is your elephant. It is your thinking fast brain. It is not the writer. It is the elephant. The elephant has always been the star of the show and will always be the star of the show. But humans are unique because we do have that writer component. So this book actually made me think about how the writer can help the elephant, truly help the elephant, because it really can't help it when it's performing in an action. I think of like tennis or pickleball or whatever, that I'm doing. Like the fact that I can, on a dead sprint, run after a ball from one end of the court to the other end of the court, smack a 80-mile-an-hour forehand with pinpoint accuracy, to narrowly get past my opponent and get it inside a very specific narrow target deep in the court and make it happen. Like the fact that I can even do that is like almost mind-blowing. If I were to have my writer think about all the elements of what I just did and try to like the physics, the speed, the dynamics, anytime that I try to even think about it, like I fuck it up. I mean, it's almost an impossibility for my writer to have any interjection into that equation for it to actually happen. Now, I say all this to say then, well, what is the point of the writer then at that point in time, right? Like, why do we even have a writer? If he can't really affect the elephant's performance or the elephant's actions, if he can't really change anything in the moment, like, what is the goddamn point of it, right? Like, what is the point of us having a writer. So this is where I saw this book it kind of opened my eyes to something where I thought this was an interesting insight. I feel like because your writer can focus on kind of whatever it wants to focus on, and it kind of does all the time, where you're just daydreaming about nothing, you're distracting. Your writer's very distracted all day long, right? What do you do to harness the power of your writer into something that can actually help your elephant, which really should be its goal. It should be its only goal, is to try to help the elephant. This made me think about, okay, great. If your elephant is performing these actions that are instantaneous and mind-blowingly powerful, and you have no idea what to do, where do you focus your attention on? And this is where, like, I think the writer needs to be super choosy about the most meaningful activities that your elephant does, to sit back and to watch, right? And like those are the ones where your writer needs to be super hyper focused in on observing what your elephant does over time, and then coming back and thinking, right? And assessing and analyzing it and trying to find those little tiny blind spots that maybe your elephant can't find, and then offer a suggestion that you can work on that one thing, that one or two things that matter, right? Because if you could give that elephant just a little bit more time to hit that forehand as you're running down the line, and to think about, well, if I turned my wrist this way and I made my eye focus on this or something like that, and you did that over and over again, and you noticed that as a writer, then you guided your elephant to solve that little blind spot. Eventually, over time, that thing becomes even more automatic, and it becomes even better and better and better. But my point being is, like, I think the writer's job is to be super hyper selective of the things that you really want to focus in on, and then offer some suggestions to help slow down just the tiniest amount of time, to give your elephant just a little bit more time. And like, I don't know if you've ever heard of being in the zone of sports or coding, when you just feel like everything is going a little bit slower, and you feel like you're in control of all the elements that are going on, when normally when you first started, it was like chaotic. And this is how I feel right now with this pickleball club. Everything feels chaotic right now, right? If I were to do this all the time, I would figure out ways to probably get way more organized, have my writer focus in on certain areas, train my elephant to do things, if this is what really matters to me, right? So this is kind of where I'm going, is the writer's job should be to slow down time for your elephant's best tricks that it does, right? To be able to give it just a little bit more time to process just a little bit faster, and execute better, right? What are your thoughts?
I'm laughing as you talk, because I think you're giving too much credit to the writer. To
Fair
me,
enough.
the writer doesn't do shit. It can't even. I mean, most people, they can't even think, because they don't want to think. To me, the only thing the writer does is spectate and write down and give to the elephant.
Right.
The analysis is in the cognitive brain. The
It's true.
analysis and the pattern recognition, it is actually in the subconscious, i.e., the elephant. So you think about it. If you say, "Hey, I have this problem," right, and you define the problem, meaning your rider, your system two is, basically pin it down, and then you go to sleep, and eventually you start to, oh, I found it, oh, I found that. Where does that come from? It comes from the subconscious. It comes from the elephant. The elephant is one that does that. And when you say, hey, the writer needs to focus on this, the only thing the writer needs to do is actually write down the thing that he saw,
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Right.
right?
Observe.
And
Right.
and,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
observe and,
Document.
and write
Yeah.
it down and
Yeah.
document. The,
Yeah.
the, the problem is, most people don't, they it's difficult for them to even do that task. That's the only
Yes.
task that a writer can do,
It
which
is.
is, okay, I'm writing it down, because they're getting distracted so many things.
Yep.
And like you say, the writer need to focus on writing down the thing he observed, that aligning, that is good for the elephant,
And
and
do it
then
each
give it
day.
to the
It's got to
elephant
be. It's
and
got to.
give
It's got
it
to go each day too. It's got to be
right.
every single day for a
But my
long
point
extended
is,
period of time.
you gotta organize these inputs,
Yes.
right? The input for the elephant, because the elephant doesn't have that cognitive, like, input collector, right? It needs this guy to sit up front, because he sees up top, but he needs to tell the elephant. For most of us, we see shit all the time, but we're distracted, and we don't tell the elephant anything.
It's
So
true.
the elephant is not getting any help from this rider. And that's my point, is you giving the rider too much credit, because
I,
the rider ain't do no analysis. It can do it. I asked you, hey Chris, what is 127 plus?
3,295.
Is it that
3.
difficult? Is it
Yeah.
that difficult?
Yeah.
You see,
3,323.
it doesn't even wants to do that.
Right.
That is a simple arithmetic, and you asking the writer to go and analyze this shit, it ain't gonna do shit.
I don't disagree with you. I mean, like
It's
this
so
is
hard for the writer to use his energy to even compute something as simple as that.
this is what I'm saying. It's like the writer's job should be to hone in on a very, very, very small, minute amount of things that really, really, really matter. So the writer needs to determine what really matters, right? Like, and that
It's the
happens.
writer has to work with the elephant because the writer knows the tendency of elephant, right? And then from there, you need to collect the data that's relevant to the elephant in terms of what he does and what he needs to do.
Right.
To me, the writer is a support role, not the star of the show. And that's the opposite of how people think. They say, hey, I'm telling you that don't be who you want to be. Because who you want to be may not be who you can be, who you got to be.
Correct.
You have to say, okay, I can't say, hey, I'm this best person in the world, right? I'm this best father, I'm this best husband, I'm this best person. Yeah, I can't. Everybody can say I'm the princess of this. A prince. Everybody's a leader who's a follower. So that is the insanity of how this writer, this thinking, the mindset of people in modern society thinks now. It's like it cannot be. So you can't say I will become Michael Jordan. I'll become Tom Brady. No, you can't. I can't be Tom Brady. And no way. I'm not gonna even consider it. So why I can't be Elon Musk. I can't be Steve Jobs. So the thing is, if I were to go and chase that, I want to be that person. Only thing I'm doing is I'm creating misery for my life because I cannot be that no matter what, how much I try. Rather, if I say, well, I'm this, Mapache or this beaver or whatever, right? Then say, well,
Oh man, I should have called this place Mapache Pickleball. Fuck.
what? You can't change it?
I should have made like maybe in the future I'll make a mascot, a raccoon mascot or something,
Mapache, yeah, you can do mascot.
We'll just do like a little racket, little Mapache holding a pickleball paddle or something like that, with
Yeah, you're gonna be as famous as Bucky's.
I didn't tell you about this. We land on Christmas Day because I think I told you what happened on Christmas Eve, right?
I think so, yeah.
So we missed our flight on Christmas Eve because of what happened on Christmas Eve. So we fly out the next day we had to go to Austin because there was no early direct flights. There's a direct flight from Indy to Austin, and it's only like an hour and 20 minutes or something like that. And my wife's family lives on the north side of San Antonio, so it's only a little over an hour to drive to the Austin airport. So we had them pick us up. And every time we've done this many times where we just fly directly into Austin because there's no direct flight from San Antonio to Indianapolis. I don't know why, and the flights are about almost double the price that it is to fly to Austin. One's direct, one is like double the price and takes like 10 hours. The other one takes 2.5 hours and is half the price. So I'm like, just pick us up. Why would I pay more and take longer, to go an extra hour that you can just come drive and pick us up? So we've done this a few times now, right? Probably a half dozen times when we've flown down to San Antonio. Her mom comes to pick us up from the airport. We get in the car. As we're driving back down 35, there's that big ass Bucky's in between Austin and San Antonio, right? Every time that we go, like, we always stop at Bucky's, right? Well, this was Christmas Day. I shit you not, Drew. We pulled into this parking lot and we had to drive around for 5 minutes to find a gas pump at a place with 100 fucking gas pumps. Like, I was like, is this fucking reality? And then you walked into the goddamn store and I think there was probably 5,000 people in this Bucky's. And I was like, is this the only place open? Like, I was like, what is happening right now? I mean, I've been to Bucky's many a times before, but this was like insanity. I was like, I just stood there talk about like, your rider taking shit in. I just stood there in the middle of this chaos of people just flying back in front of me while my wife, her sister and her mom and my son were like, getting their buck nuts and whatever stupid shit, that they were getting. And I'm literally just sitting here just going, what is happening? Like, I mean, there's just people flying everywhere. I mean, it was 5,000 people. I swear to God, it's 5,000 people, not a pump to be had. This is 100 pumps. If you've never been to a Bucky's, 100 fucking commercial pumps. These aren't trucks. Like, these are just cars that stopped at a fucking gas station that's the size of a Walmart. I don't get it. That's Texas in a nutshell. I don't understand it. But yeah, I don't think I told you about that, but I was like, this is insane. Like, I mean, like, this is fucking nuts. Like, Texas is fucking another planet.
It is. I mean, Texas is actually a country before.
It was, yeah. I mean, it's actually ironically I just finished a book about the Comanche Indians this week yesterday, and it was all about like Texas and Oklahoma and the Comanche Indians and the history of Texas. And I was like, man, these fucking people are weird. Like, I mean, I don't know. I don't know how else to describe Texas other than I don't know. I don't get it. I don't get it. But anyway, all right.
Eventually, you get used to it.
Oh yeah, no, I like Bucky's now. The first time that I ever went to Texas and we went to Bucky's, my wife's family made it a big deal. They're like, "Oh, you got to go to Bucky's." Like, and this is probably 12 years ago now. And I'm like, "What the fuck is Bucky's?" And they're like, "It's a gas station." I'm like, why do I want to go to a gas station? I was like, what is the point of this? And they're like, no, you got to go to Bucky's. And I'm like, okay, whatever. So we pull up to this place, and this is my first Bucky's experience. And I was like, this is everything that personifies Texas in a nutshell. I was like, it doesn't make any sense. It is a fucking gas station that is the size of a Walmart with 100 pumps, and I don't get it.
Most of them are always packed. You have to get in. I mean, you're talking about when you go into a Bucky, it's like a flea market. It's like
chaos.
It's like you're in a fucking concert. There's no space for you to walk. You have to weave yourself through.
And a place the size of a Walmart. This is a gas station. The food in there is gas station food. Like it is the same crap that you go get. They just slapped a Bucky label on it. It's still sunflower seeds, beef jerky, and popcorn. I mean, it's not like it's like anything special. I mean, yeah, I get it. They have like some meat stands or whatever where they cut brisket or some bullshit. But like, whatever. Like please, for the love of God, tell me you've never gone to Bucky's to actually buy like real stuff. Like you don't go to Bucky's to like go buy like a cooler or like kitchen equipment or whatever. What's on the side of the store where the non-food is? I mean, what's even over there?
You do. They have good stuff there. I mean, I think there's those barbecue stuff that they sell. It's really. I mean, you just can't find them just at Walmart or some other grocery store. You just can't find them. You gotta go Bucky's for them.
Good God! So you wait. How far is the nearest Bucky's to you?
Probably like 30 minutes.
So and have you ever made a specific trip just to go to Bucky's? And come back?
No, we had to go. Pick up something, and Bucky's nearby. We stop by Bucky's.
But do you stop by every time you drive by a Bucky's?
Not every time. Before we did, not every time, because it depends. It depends. So usually, if we drive for 30 minutes, and if there's a Bucky, right, we'll stop. But let's say we drive somewhere and we just got like food or whatever, then we just won't stop at Bucky's. But if there is,
welcome to Texas. Anyway, all right, back to the topic.
It is Texas.
Oh, we were talking about mapache, and that was how you got into Bucky's.
Mapache. Like I said, my mapache is your Indianapolis Pickball Club will be as famous as the Bucky's if you use mapache as your mascot.
There you go. I like that actually. Maybe I can model it.
I think you should create some kind of mapache. By the way, mapache is what?
It's Spanish for raccoon. In Spanish, raccoon word, it's called mapache.
Yeah, mapache.
Yeah.
So make some kind of cute little mapache Bucky look-alike.
Oh wow, I didn't know this. In Latin, the name literally means before dog washer.
What is that?
It says
before dog washer.
I don't even know what that means, but the Aztecs called it Mapachtil, meaning the one who takes everything in its hands.
Oh, interesting.
That's funny because they do. They always have their little tiny mitts, and they take it, and they just yeah. Funny. That was funny. All right. Anyway, yeah. Enough sidetrack of mapache. Back to Blank and elephants and writers. Yeah. So I mean, I tend to agree with you. By the way, I tend to agree with where your mind is going. Of your writer really does nothing. This is why I was trying to get at is like if there is something that your writer can do. It's to laser lock in on one thing that they can observe, think, reflect, and do it every single day. That it slowly but surely might actually stick with the elephant, right? Like it's like 366 days of tennis, right? Every single day. When I look at this and I say why like I read a reflection that says warm up speed, right? I've read this one before. Warm up speed is like, hey, when you're playing a match, when you're warming up before you play, like everything kind of feels effortless. You're hitting really good, clean ground strokes. You're moving well, no pressure, blah, blah, blah. And
I
then all of a
mean,
sudden,
if you can play tennis where you can plan for a dinner date, then you're in good hands.
yeah, I agree. When you're not really thinking and you're just kind of letting your elephant do what you're saying, right? But like, here's the thing: is I could read this book every single day, and I could get warm up speed. Oh yeah, okay, great. Like my writer will process that. But the problem is like that thought needs to be thought every single day for a really long period of time with deliberate thought and a deliberate action, and then reinforce with your elephant to try it out in the real world, and then come back. And then your writer thinks about it again, goes, okay, what did warm up speed mean? So I need to do this. I need to guide my elephant. And then we go try something again. Then we come back and the writer dissects while the elephant's just hanging out. And then we do it again and again. Eventually, maybe a year down the road or something like that, it'll become second nature to the elephant, where warm up speed, like you and I talking about, or the elephant and the writer, right? Like we don't need to explain, well, it's your thinking fast brain and you're thinking slow brain. And one does this and does that, right? I mean, this has become ingrained into what we do every single day, and it just takes a lot of time, but it's the key is to focus on the shit that really matters to you. If you're going to use your writer for anything, focus on the stuff that really matters to you and give your elephant just a little bit more time, not have the blink go just a little bit longer.
Right. I mean, it reminds me of that quote, that clip from Bruce Lee. He keeps saying, don't think. Right. That's exactly what we're saying is, do not let your rider do the actions.
Yes.
Let your elephant do something, because you think about it. I mean, that's why it's very hard to understand Bruce Lee when he's teaching you. Say, hey, if you think you can get your ass kicked,
yep,
because you're not going to do anything. That's why you have to let the elephant do his thing. But in order for you to be good as a kung fu master in a fight, you have to be able to train the elephant in the move. That's what I'm saying. It's a slow time. Is you got to focus on the things that you want the elephant to learn, to train. And I think that to me now makes more sense. That video clip, because the thing is, if you hear that for the first time from Bruce Lee, right? What the heck does that mean?
I don't know. You can't stop. Like if you told me to not think in a tennis match, the only thought I would be thinking about is don't think, don't think, don't think, don't think, don't think. It means literally no thoughts in your head. Like, and you can't. It's like when you always say, don't think about don't think about an elephant. You immediately think about an elephant, right? Like if you tell me don't think, like this is no joke. I'll give you an example from my match that I played on Saturday. I was playing against one of my arch nemesis on a tennis court. Somebody that I'd lost. I'd lost probably 6-8 matches in a row against the guy, and I had never beat him before. This is the guy that I beat in the summer league that I finally got past, and I was like, oh my god, I finally fucking broke through. Well, I beat him again, so I'm 2-0 against him the past 2 matches. But what happened was I started this match off, and I was like, okay, Chris, you beat him last time. Like, you know what to do. Like, just relax, like keep the ball in play and hit it deep and hit it with good pace and just try to make him frustrate him. That's exactly how you beat him last time, right? And I said, okay, great. You know what proceeded to happen? I lost the first 5 games in a row. I lost the first 5 games. And he wasn't doing anything. He was hitting like 1 ball to me, maybe a 2-ball rally. And I'm like, okay, just get it in. Just get it in. And it's like flying way out. I'm like, just get it in. Just get it in. And I'm like yelling at myself. And I'm like, what the fuck is happening? I'm like, what is wrong with me? I mean, these are shots I can hit in my sleep. And I'm like just missing everything. And I'm like,
it's a shot your elephant can hit in your sleep.
Exactly.
You can't hit shit.
Yes. When you put your rider in control and you're saying, don't think, that's it doesn't work that way, right? Like it was only then after I got so frustrated and fed up with myself in the 6th game, I said, just fuck it. I don't fucking care anymore. I was like, just fucking just hit.
The rider went to sleep.
Like no joke. I went, fuck it. I was like, this is just for fun anyway. Like, just go have fun. Who cares? You already probably lost this match anyway. It was like, just go. Well, lo and behold, I won the next 9 out of 10 games in a row and came storming back and talk about pissed. He was pissed. I mean, he was like, what the fuck just happened? I was just cruise control, easy. Chris wasn't hitting a single ball, and all of a sudden now every fucking point is like He's just getting everything back in. The only thing that changed was I stopped caring. Like I just said, I don't fucking care anymore. I'm not going to tell you what to do.
His accomplice quit.
Pretty much. Like, but actually, this is a trend for me. This has been this way for, I don't know how to stop this either. This has been this way with me playing tennis and pickleball for years now. Like, I mean, probably for the past decade, where like I start super slow because I come into it going, this is my strategy, this is what I'm going to do, this is how I'm going to execute, and eventually, like I'm like 4 games in, I find myself just like, what the fuck just happened? Like, I didn't even do anything, and I just lost. I mean, I just dug myself a huge hole when I played Austin for the King of Ellenberger Park in the pickleball thing, best of 5 series. The first game, I lost 11-0. Like, I lost 11-0 in the first game. I walked off the court. I was like, well, how the fuck am I gonna beat this guy? I was like, this is insane. I got my ass just whipped, and then lo and behold, I won the next 3 games in a row, and I won them pretty easy, and it's like, I think I just like hurt myself so bad. I might as well just like go into any battle at this point in time and be like, take out one of my legs, and then I just won't care. Maybe I'll just fight a little bit better, like it's just, I don't know.
I think every single player in any sport has the same issue. It's because without the mindset, it's very hard for them to execute. When you see a lot of teams playing in the playoffs, people call you joke. You joke is because your stupid riders get in the way.
100%.
I think that's what I'm saying is understanding, like reading this book, understanding your elephant's greatest trick is you have to be able to put into practice and let the elephant focus on the elephant play and use a rider as an aid, not a hindrance.
Right.
Because for the most part, we as a rider become a hindrance to the elephant.
We are the biggest hindrance to our elephant. I mean, I don't even know that there's anything remotely even close to the impact that our rider negatively does to our elephants. Can you think of any other external element out there that can even come close to the damage that your rider can do to your elephant?
No, I'm telling you this, and I told you before many times. You are your biggest misery. 90% of your misery comes from you.
Yeah,
you create them.
I mean, I hit last summer, my little cousin who's like a sophomore in high school, and I went to go. She was a freshman, going into her freshman year when we played this before. I was teaching her tennis lessons, and I was just helping my aunt out and helping her because I'm a good tennis player and also I'm free, and she exchanges babysitting services for Luca for me, teaching her daughter. I was out teaching her daughter, and she was struggling to hit the ball because she was just going for too much. And I was like, that's it. I was like, look, we're just going to hit the ball back and forth. Just get it in. Like, I don't even care. Don't even think about it. Don't worry about where you're hitting it. Don't worry about how hard you're hitting it. I just want you to just hit the ball back to me, and we'll see how many times we can hit the ball back and forth between the two of us. We hit the ball back and forth 200 times in a row. I mean, I counted. I was like, we didn't fucking miss. There was this group of people that were trying to leave the course. We were in an indoor court, and we were on the first court, and you have to like technically walk by us to get to the exit. And they had to pause. They paused in the back corner. I could see them because they were behind her. I could see them, come out from behind the curtain, and then they waited for us because rightfully so, they should have, because we were in the middle of playing. And this was going on for like 7 minutes in a row. And after we finally missed it, the people walked by and they're like, wow, that was impressive. Like, I was like, that was fucking impressive. She's a freshman in high school. We were just hitting the ball back and forth like 200 times in a row. This is stuff that you can do in your sleep, but then all of a sudden match play starts and
when you wake up, this is when you start to fail.
Yeah.
Yep. So it's actually better for you to be asleep.
Yep.
Better in your sleep.
100%.
So when you say I can do this in my sleep, you're not touting anything.
I agree. You're basically confirming that's what you should do.
You know how people say, I can do this in my sleep, implying that they're better.
Right.
They're so good that they can do that with a handicap. No. When you're asleep, you're actually not handicapped. You're actually boosted.
Yeah, exactly. That's a PED, No, I mean, you're right. Like, I mean, there should be a drug that should be like go to sleep mode, for your rider or something. They should make that drug for athletes, like to like shut your rider off, and then they just maybe that's called like oxycodone or something. I don't know.
Yeah, put you into a zone.
Right.
Essentially, you just basically you basically block any other external receptors for other input. You put in that person to a zone, they're gonna perform the best of their ability in that zone.
Isn't that what Adderall is? I mean, isn't that how like ADHD drugs work? How does that work? Actually, I don't know. Like, what does it like block your writer from like thinking or something? I don't know. Like Adderall, it's an amphetamine salt containing. It's an amphetamine. This is what they give kids with ADHD.
To calm them down?
No, to focus them. You ever heard of Ritalin, like Adderall?
No.
You never heard of Ritalin? This is shit that they give kids all day long. Like
they shouldn't give kid anything.
They pump kids full of fucking Adderall and Ritalin
to do what?
To focus them in school because they have a hyper attention deficit disorder is what they get diagnosed with.
They do not.
They do not. Like, I agree. Well, some people do.
It's like you put a kid in a room and you one corner and say, hey, baby, right. Hey, baby, right? It's like, he's normal. Because you are trying to grab his attention, he's going to look. So yes. You build this society where you have like input stimulus all over, right?
There you go. This is what it does. Adderall stimulates an increased amount of dopamine and neuroepinephrine in your brain, and it reinforces rewarding behaviors. So it makes you like super addicted.
This guy cannot control the emotions if they keep doing it.
Right. Oh yeah. No, Adderall is super addicting. Like, do you remember the movie Limitless? You ever seen the movie Limitless before?
Yeah.
It's kind of like that. I've only ever taken Adderall once, and I didn't even know that I took it. That was the most productive day that I've ever had in my life. I was like, whoa. I had no idea that I even took an Adderall. I was in college. It was a summer that I was in Chicago for an internship, and one of my college buddies lived in downtown Chicago, and my internship was in the northern suburbs, so it was like an hour away basically from like the city, and he had wanted to go out all night long. I was like, fine, let's go down to the city. We'll go out, whatever. We got back at like 4 a.m. and I had to be back to work that next morning, like 7:30 a.m. My alarm goes off at like 6 or whatever. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm so hungover, you know? And he was like, here, take this pill and you'll be fine. And I was like, what are you talking about? He's like, just take it. Just trust me. I was like, what is it? He's like, I take it for like, focus at school and stuff. And I was like, okay, fine, whatever. So,
isn't that cheating?
Totally cheating. So like the whole rest of the day, I was like, whoa, man, I was like fucking locked in at work, you know, and my hangover was gone. And I was like, this is insane, you know, and I ran into him when I got back to school and I was like, what did you give me? And he was like, it was an Adderall, you know, and I'm like, oh my God, I took it. I didn't know I took it. It was an Adderall, you know.
So when people compete in these academic contests, do they test for PD?
Good question. I mean, well, I guess if Adderall is a prescription from a doctor, then no, but that's not technically a PD if you're getting a prescription. I mean,
most doctors only give you have it, not as long as you say, "Hey, I have ADHD," and they say, "Okay,
oh, here's
you
an
feel
Adderall.
this symptom." Here you go.
Here's some Adderall. That's how it works. Yeah.
I mean, it's not like I'm gonna verify that you have ADHD.
Dude, I mean, I bet you there's 20 million kids that take Adderall. 3% of children in grades 8, 10, and 12 use Adderall in the past year. 62% of kids between 2 and 17 with ADHD take a stimulant for Adderall. 9.5% of high school seniors reported non-medical use of Adderall. 1 in 6 seniors were exposed to prescription stimulants. There was this one of the guys that I yell with. He's a nurse practitioner and he works in mental wards. He, at one point in time in his life, was addicted to Adderall. He actually went to rehab for it. He got super addicted to it in college, and it's a very addicting substance.
So why can't he just continue to take Adderall?
Because it was completely addicting. I mean, it was addictive as hell to him.
Meaning what?
He was like snorting it and taking way too much of it.
Abusing it, right? He's at the recommended dosage.
Well, because he liked the way that it felt. It's an amphetamine. That's a really highly addictive, you know. I mean, amphetamines are you can't just go get an over-the-counter amphetamine, you know, in general. They're central nervous system stimulant that's used in treatment of ADHD and narcolepsy and obesity, and you know, I mean, it's a very
so you can get Adderall.
Well, that's what they used to give. I know there was a lot of obesity drugs that were amphetamines that you could take because, like, it's like speed. You ever heard of speed?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, speed's an amphetamine. It just speeds you up. It's extra dopamine. I mean, it's like you get locked in on task completion and like hyper speed, you know, like, oh, I get more. It's like a game, you know. The more that I do, the more dopamine hit. This thing gives me extra dopamine to go tackle all of my my dreams, and things that I need to get done, right? I mean,
So if that's the case, what's wrong with taking it? That's what I'm saying. Everybody
it's
can be more productive.
highly addictive. And
Everybody's gonna be super, super efficient.
if
Everybody's
that's
gonna be super, super smart. I mean, society is gonna be so advanced. We can have time machines and all that shit.
well,
So
true.
why stop people from taking Adderall?
There are the kids that are trying to get into Harvard, and they think I need Adderall so I can go focus more on my
You can't
piano
get into
lessons.
Harvard if a bunch of Harvards are taking Adderall and you don't take Adderall. How do you compete?
Question. I don't know. I mean,
If you're competing against the Adderall user, right? They
yeah,
get wings, right?
yeah.
You can't just go drink Red Bull and get wings.
I don't disagree with you. I mean, I've only ever taken it one time in my life, and I know that was probably one of the. I can tell you, I'm a very task-driven person, and I was like, "What the fuck? Like, this is insane." I feel like I just effortlessly checked off everything and had an endless amount of energy, and I was like, "This is insane."
I just don't
I
see
don't,
how it's not good for you if you're being a more productive person.
because
It's not like you causing like harm to society by taking Adderall.
well, you can. I mean, it's
Be more productive. Like you get work done faster, you get more work done, better work done, smarter. I mean,
you're
just like
you're
Limitless. You saw the movie, right?
yeah.
Guy solving crimes and all that kind of shit that no one is able to solve crimes for years. He's able to solve them, bam, right? Yeah, imagine having like thousands of millions of them out there. I mean, you can't get away with nothing. I mean, you're talking about you're talking about the government, you're talking about DMV. Fucking DMV, it's like no lines. Salesforce employees wouldn't have to spend so much time trying to put
Oh,
stuff
dude,
together, blah blah blah. Like one guy can do it all. The rest can
that's
just
true.
sit
I mean,
back and sipping pina colada on the beach somewhere.
this is
What's wrong with
Q4.
that?
I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of people artificially, performance enhancing themselves right now in Q4, right? Trying to get every deal across the finish line when they don't have any more time in the day.
All I'm hearing is good things, and you're being a much more efficient contributing members of society, and you're building this new, better, and stronger and faster human
All right,
beings.
now you're gonna make me Google it.
I think they just want to keep them to themselves.
Adverse effects:
Increase
increased.
first energy, improve mental aptitude, hyper excitability, mood elevation. What more can you ask for?
That's the good stuff. It says, however, it can also lead to restlessness, difficulty falling asleep, interrupted sleep, headaches, dizziness, visual changes, alterations in sexual performance,
That's the same thing
constipation.
as limitless. I mean, if your body
Yes, yeah,
is not compatible, then you
right.
have those things right here.
Yep.
But small price to pay for.
Heart attack and stroke. I mean, excessive body temperature. I mean,
Yeah,
dude, fucking heart pumping like crazy and
yeah. It's a
yeah,
stimulant. It
yeah,
speeds you up. So you actually are much stronger, faster, mentally more apt than
yeah. You can't take an
before.
amphetamine
You
like
become
and
a Superman, superhuman.
these are banned in sports. I mean, you can't take an amphetamine. They used to call those greenies. Did you ever hear that term before in baseball? It's called a greenie. They had like little bowls of greenies, or I think they used to take them in NFL too. They were like a bowl just full of amphetamines. They used to have a code word for like
Yeah,
this is like a little bowl of candy. You'd pop in some
yeah. Google.
amphetamine. Yeah, I don't know how we got on Bucky's and Adderall. All right, let's take it back full circle. I'm officially out of topics to talk about with Blank for the day. Any final thoughts?
Bottom line is leave the elephant alone. Get
And
out
if
of
you're
his.
not,
If you're not gonna help them, don't be a hindrance.
and if you are gonna help, laser lock in on one or two things to give your elephant just a little bit more time to be able to process just a little bit longer. And if you do, like, I mean, just like giving your elephant just
It's
a
like
little bit more
adding
time.
Adderall. Like
Yeah,
giving the
it's
elephant
it's
Adderall.
like living in the Matrix. It is like having Adderall or like being in the Matrix. You see things a little slower, faster. I mean, your body's still moving at the speed you're doing, but you can
Have you
process things.
seen Bruce Lee fight? So fast. But
Let's
that's what I'm
check it out.
saying. It's like limitless, like the Matrix, right? When your elephant is well versed in the task at hand, things seem so slow. He can block, he can punch, he can kick. Like, That's not Bruce Lee.
Is that? I don't know. I just typed in Bruce Lee. Oh,
That's not Bruce Lee. He's fast though.
why don't I just want to see him fighting.
I think he's talking about him. He's not going to fight.
They're showing still frames of him fighting. I just want to see a video of him fighting. You know, have just a video of him fighting.
He can punch you in a blink.
Yeah, but these are staged, right? I mean, is there any like real?
No, the real one, he can punch you in a blink. Well, he does in exhibitions. He does them, like in a master contest, like in tournaments.
There you go. Is this him?
I don't know.
Said Bruce Lee's only real fight recorded.
Wow, I get hit.
Does he always just carry his arms out like that? He barely moves. That's interesting. Yeah. Oh, whoa.
He punch you. You don't see the hand move. You just see the fist, right? He punched you already, and his fist will come back. So you can't even see the punch. Right. So when he punches you, right, you can't see the punch. You only see the recoil of the fist.
Yeah. I mean, I just love how he stands there. He doesn't move unless he has to. He's waiting for like somebody else to do something. Like literally, I don't think he ever like moves at all.
What I'm saying is,
Oof.
he can because the elephant is doing the work. He doesn't even think. He just need to reflect, like we react to it, reflex. It's his reflex, right?
Right.
So he can see your punch. He can see your punch, and he will counter punch you. That's why he can get you.
Well,
That's
he
my
can't
point.
see
Is
it. His elephant can see it,
the elephant can see it? Yes.
and he's got out of the way.
Yes, and that's what I'm saying is when you were versed in the thing that you do, it's like the Matrix. Things just slow down for you.
Right. Yeah, I agree. I mean that's what this reflection was about, is like help your elephant by slowing down time just a little bit more. That's if you want to give your elephant a gift, help it to slow down time just a little tiny bit. So yeah. All right, that's all I got for the night. The question we can leave with everybody is, how are you helping to buy your elephant a little bit more time while performing its greatest feats? Something to think about, focus your attention on it. But thanks for joining, and we will see you tomorrow night. And I promise it's not a Malcolm Gladwell book.
Okay, good night, everyone.
See ya.